You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible.
Another great edition of Getting Color with Big Vito Grotto and his co-host with the most, David. I'm late, stalwart. David, how are you doing tonight?
Dude, I'm doing good. And you know what? I'm so behind the ball today. I didn't even put my phone on mute for you. Hey, what's up, Vito? Dude, it's crazy. You know why it's crazy? I did an indie show last night, man, and my adrenaline's still going.
I mean, I know we're doing an indie show, but like, let's talk about the main thing right here. Look how good I'm looking with this beard. Left, right. How it's coming in, you know, I'm doing my thing at the barbershop, Mani Petty, salon day, convertible day. Just doing it every day, you know, country clubbing, resorting, you know. Looking good right here with tan, in shape, guns are blazing. I'm telling you, people, look what's going on. Just look what's going on.
Dude, you look like you're about ready to throw some fists back out there in the ring. I'm telling you, man.
Let's put it this way. I changed my workout plan yesterday, and I was doing one for a long time, so I changed it up just to give me a little bit, you know, something different. I like it a lot better. It's more of an aerobic instead of the heavy lifting.
Blowfish says the beard is a keeper.
The beard is a keeper. Guys, do you like the beard? I mean, is it me? Is it, you know, is it happening? David, you're a beard connoisseur.
Yeah, well, dude, I'm telling you, and for those that you don't know already, Vito's coming up here in November, maybe sooner, but November for sure, around Black Friday, to lay the fists down, and he's just getting ready. He's getting ready to roll with the rage with Virtue's Army. I'm
telling you, Virtue's Army. And
I like it, dude.
I'm telling you, I've been getting a lot of good compliments. It's the new fad, you know. My wife loves it. The ladies like it. You know, all the grandmas are adoring it. You know, all the hot moms are saying, you know, take my baby. You know, I mean, they're all doing everything just to get a feel of the beard. I'm telling you.
I like it.
Hold on. The new saying is get in touch with the brush. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
There you go.
Lord help me.
All right.
I'm going to ask you a question to start off with. What do you think about Mike Trout's contract extension? Just when we thought it couldn't get any more insane with Manny Machado and Bryce Harper's deals, we get a contract extension, 12 years, 420 or 30 million?
430 million. Now, now you want to know something, okay? You got 430. When is it going to be the ceiling of contracts? I mean, 430 million, 500 million. You talking you're going to pay somebody $1 billion to hit 40 homers and 100 RBIs?
Dude, I'll tell you what, all of these contracts and extensions have just happened. Cleveland Indians can kiss bye-bye to Francisco Lindor. There is no way they're going to be able to pay him what he will get. He's going to the Yankees or something.
Okay, but here's the deal, right? We're talking about all the contracts, but look at all the free agents who are still unsigned because they asked for big money. Ain't nobody signing them.
What do you think's going to happen with them? You think they'll settle? What's that? Who's that agent? That one agent that represents a lot of people?
Scott
I can't remember his name. Yeah, is it a lot of his guys that aren't signed? Because he goes for the gusto. He goes for the big bucks.
Do you know that Gio Gonzalez, who signed with the Yankees, he was getting $12 million last year? Hold on a second. We got a question.
Thank you, Stats, for the bits.
Thanks for the bits. Bits for tits during Getting Color and Twitch. Now, Scott Boras, okay, he was trying to negotiate a mega deal with the Yankees for Gio Gonzalez when he had nobody bidding for him. And Scott Boras played the game. Yeah, we got a lot of offers. Okay, we're not interested. Gio Gonzalez said, listen, we ain't got shit on the table. Go get me a thing. He settled for $3 million. Okay? All these guys are settling now because they want the guaranteed money. So what's going to happen? Jason DeGrom, Cy Young Award rate, doesn't have a contract.
And he's good, Vito. He's really good.
What are the Mets going to do? Are they going to trade him? Are they going to get a boatload of players? Are they going to restock their developmental? Are they going to get a bunch of hot players? We got somebody with a question.
Yeah, this is an interesting question about somebody. I'll just say it. Did you hear Knobs talk crap about people involved in the concussion lawsuit? Do you have any stories about him?
Who?
Knobs.
The nasty boy, Brian.
All of a sudden,
He's such a
got no comment on that. No comment.
No comment.
Better off not to say nothing because
I haven't heard of anything Brian Knobs in years, ever since he was on Hogan's Knows Best. I'm just being honest.
I'm just going to clarify something, okay? When I came out and I did the concussion lawsuit, and it was worldwide, it was international. When I say world, I mean worldwide news. It hit every news stream, everywhere international. I'm talking world. There wasn't a soul who backed me up. I stood tall. I stood by myself. For 3+ years, I took a beating and I got ridiculed, and I stood up tall and I fought for everybody. Okay. Now that it is in an appeals court, and now everybody's saying, "Oh wow, I got something." Now you want to come out and say something because you want to feed off my hard work, my dedication, my know-how, my standing there. Hold on. My standing there of having a set of balls. No, thank you. I don't have no comments about Brian Knobs and his problem. Let him go to Hogan and let Hogan figure it out. Now, continuing about our thing. Go ahead, Pete.
Well, dude, we'll move on. I know Noel was probably going to say, Laura in the chat said Vito is looking very handsome this evening with the facial hair going on.
Lovely Laura.
Yep.
Lovely Laura.
Laura is in my one fantasy league in that Vince Russo scammed me on last week. So, yeah.
The big scandal.
Yep.
Now, okay, getting back to the contracts, right? Now, we have Gio Gonzalez, who settled for $3 million from $12 million he made last year. That's a big deficit. Jason DeGrom still doesn't have a contract. You have Craig Kimball and you have Kershaw, who's a Cy Young Award winner.
Oh, the guy in Houston, Keuchel?
Yeah, Keuchel.
Dallas Keuchel, yeah.
Doesn't have a contract. And the Yankees pitching, the Mets can use another pitcher, and nobody has touched these guys. Why?
So here's what I think. I want to know what you think, but I think the guys that haven't got contracts are not box office draws. They may be very, very good at what they do, but they're not the box office draws like Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout. And I think the owners are now thinking, okay, well, you're going to get me 30 and 100, whatever, but your name will sell seats. I think they look at it that way more than production for the big names.
Yeah, but do you see that a lot of guys have settled for a lot less just to get contracts for the year because nobody wants to go out without making a payday? These guys are going to have to. When Craig Kimball said he wants 5 years and $100 million, he's not a $100 million ball player. He's not even an 80. He's not better than the guy from the Yankees, Chapman. Not better than him. He's a lifestyle closer. He's good for 30, 40. He's not even better than the Mets closer who's still on his rookie contract.
Dude, remember when Bonds left Pittsburgh and went to San Francisco and he got big bucks? That wasn't even anywhere close to what we're looking at today. And back then that was like, oh my God, Bonds is getting paid.
Yeah, but you look at the ball players today, right? And, Bryce Harper, I'm going to use Bryce Harper. Congratulations on your contract. But when you look at his stats are average for a good ball player. They're not exceptional.
Dude, look at Chris Davis on Oakland. Oakland is Billy Bean territory, is Moneyball. Chris Davis can produce Bryce Harper stats, maybe even hit more home runs. And I bet you he's barely making $1 million or a couple $1 million a year.
How many times did Bryce Harper play a full season without being hurt? One. How many MVPs? He's won 2 MVPs. How many World Series has he been to? 0.
Yeah, it's insane money, Vito. And I think they don't look at it from the stats aspect and will you take me to the World Series? I think they do, but that's secondary. I think they're signing the names and how many jerseys can sell. But
I ask you something, right? Now we're talking about guys who are ball players, okay? Take the Yankees. With all that's happening right now, they're short a center fielder. Could they have offered Harper, say he only signed for $25 million a year? Say if they gave him $5 million at $30 million, they would have gave him a $150 million contract. Would that have been worth it? Yeah, I would have paid him that. Right, for 5 years, the most 5 productive years of his, he would have slid right in center field, or they would have slid somebody over. The Yankees would have had a frontline outfield of 100 RBIs. Or you're talking about possibly 150 homers and possibly 400 RBIs just in the outfield.
So what happens if these teams that sign these big contracts falter and suck? Do they think they can trade these big contracts to like a Yankees and get prospects back? I mean, that's a lot of money to trade with cap switches.
Call Stanton. Bits for tits, guys. Bits for tits. I hope everybody's signing and listening. Don't be afraid to tip the man with the plan. All right, then back to what I was saying. Giancarlo Stanton fell into Yankees' lap because the Marlins were trying to, they're redoing that stuff, and they wanted to shed everything and start from scratch. They got rid of a lot of good ball players, but the fans are unhappy. But what are you going to do about it? You can't cry about it. You just got to go with the flow. Now, with the way the economy is in baseball, you're seeing very few big contracts going out. And everybody's signing for little and longevity. Nobody wants to be without guaranteed money. And I think the big money just went out the window with the big thing. How are we doing there on Noel? How are we doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, I have somebody on here trolling. I called them out.
Okay. So, David, now getting back to the big money and the big ball players, let's switch our attention to go to LeBron James, who has missed the playoffs for the first time in 10 years, 9 years.
Well, since 2005, so like 12 or 13 or 14 years.
So you're talking LeBron James thought the grass was greener on the other side. He left Cleveland, went to the Lakers, and he bombed.
I think this is what this proves. He thought he could go to the Lakers, right? And it might say it took them a year or two to bring some really good players with him. I think LeBron always thought he could go anywhere, any team, even the Knicks right now, whatever the worst record teams are. And by him being on there, instant playoffs, even if it's like middle of the pack, this proved that's not the case. He needs help. He needs a supporting cast to complement his skills. And if he doesn't have it, he's not taking anybody anywhere. And this is what happened.
I never said he was better than Jordan.
Me either.
At this point, does this prove, without a shadow of doubt, that he is not better than Jordan?
Jordan is better than LeBron, hands down. Because growing up as a Knicks fan, Vito, in the 90s, who were in the playoffs every year, went to a couple finals, never won it. They won it like in 1969, but during my childhood, the Knicks never won it. You know why? Because of Michael Jordan. Dominated the NBA in the 90s. Has LeBron really ever dominated other than statistics? No. He's a stats muncher. That's it.
And plus, he played in the East, where it was easier to get to the playoffs.
Yep.
So, when you look at the great ball players, this really puts a damper on his legacy. Now, you want to talk about legacies. If you had Kevin Durant come to the Knicks and the Knicks made the playoffs, he would blow LeBron out of the water, and they wouldn't even be talking about LeBron. And what they say, Kevin Durant is better than LeBron James because of his couple of championships. He took a non-playoff team, made him a playoff team, and here you have it.
Dude, you're a Knicks guy. I'm a Knicks guy. I think there's a good, legit shot in the next year or two. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are both playing for the New York Knicks. We'll see what happens. Who knows?
There was just something that came out that Kevin Durant said, "I am definitely not playing for the Knicks. I don't believe it. I think everybody just needs to leave him alone and just let the man play ball. And then when it comes time for max contracts and free agency, I think that'll be good."
Yeah. Well, you got to say that if you're Kevin Durant right now, because you got a great thing going in Golden State until somebody beats them. So I get it, All
right, now let's switch our attention to Fantasy Baseball League. Now, you had an incident with Vince Russo, and we're still continuing this, about a conspiracy. I did confront Vince Russo about this, and he made a mistake. He said, "Oh, I didn't know." I said, "Vince, you didn't even offer me, I said, "What are you going to do for me? You're going to throw me a draft choice? You're going to throw my guy something?" All right.
He went like this. You got to give your exact quotes. He goes, "Oh, man, I did." That's exactly how he said it.
So here's my thing, bro. Come on, you screwed up, Vince. All right, messing with my guys. All right, send a little something. Put it in an envelope. All right, go to my wish list. Put something there.
You guys
right?
have been fighting over a fruit basket for about 4 months.
Vince. Fruit basket. Send something.
Vince always throws that word around karma. So, he's gonna have a couple devastating injuries on his team. That's what's gonna happen, dude. And he did 2 leagues. Remember that was part of the controversy. He on the other league, the one I'm not in. It might be the one Laura's in. He has 7 outfielders. How do you make that mistake? No fantasy league has 7 outfielders.
Are any of them versatile and utility players?
No, he had the 4 outfield positions set, and then he accidentally also chose right fielder, center fielder, and left fielder. So literally everybody's starting lineup has 7 outfielders every day, and you can't fix it after the draft. So kudos to anybody in that league with Vince Russo having a struggle playing 7 outfielders every day.
Unbelievable. What a J-Bo. What a J-Bo. But speaking of Vince Russo.
Laura said she told him about it Saturday night and he didn't listen.
Laura, you're on this. Laura is on this.
She told him right away and he messed up.
Bits for tits, Laura. Bits for tits. Way to go. Way to straighten out the Russo brand. Way to go. All right. Now,
I heard you bringing up something positive about Vinny Roo, right?
Yes. Get to something very good now. Now, I know we always bash people, but then we come up with something good. Right? The good and the bad. Well, something great happened this week for the Vince Russo brand, and finally somebody acknowledged somebody. Dwayne Johnson, who's going by The Rock, everybody knows him. Great actor, was a great entertainer for the WWE. Gave Vince Russo a nice compliment on Twitter and, said, I don't know why everybody gets down on Vince Russo. He comes up with great things. When he had an idea, he said, let's go with it. And he broadened everybody's horizons and he made wrestling fun. Everybody's been shitting on Vince Russo and doing stuff, but The Rock, the #1 guy in wrestling, along with Steve Austin, have all given Vince Russo a lot of credit because he made wrestling fun.
Flair, Foley, HBK. I mean, I've heard all of them say positive things about working with Vince back in the day.
Right. So you're talking about legit pros. You're talking about guys in the business who've had success. And I want to say this to somebody. Now, and I'm not saying this. We have one question.
You can finish your statement.
Okay.
It's a question about the Big Vito brand. When is the next time you're going to do the Talking Italian podcast? Because people obviously miss it. They want to hear how you make meatballs. You put the bread in the middle. You put your gravy in a slow cooker. But we got that coming up.
We got it coming up, guys. Guys, just bear with us because we're in the middle of moving. We're in the middle of building our studio. We're in the middle of a bunch of things. We're adding a show on the Realm Network. We're doing a bunch of things. So just bear with us. And we're going to have something for everybody. I promise that everything is going to go good. Right now, a lot of attention has went to the beard, but I'm sorry.
Speaking of Italian coming back, we're still doing the nerdification of Vito, but we've got to get into the new house.
All right, got to get into the new house. So anyway, so we're talking about Vince Russo and all the good things. And, one thing that everybody forgets, and I brought this up to Vince. He said, Vince, I said, nobody ever talks about it, but when you brought the Mamalukes into WCW, those were some of the best vignettes that were ever done, and people still watch them today. Me and Gene in the nightclub, the spaghetti sauce, us dating the twins, us cooking and trying to screw some girls, the naked poker game where I'm actually sitting there naked with the girls and doing the poker because it was strip poker, and, doing fun things like that. Everybody forgets that, and everybody loved the Mamalukes, and we had vignettes, and everybody waited for them to come out. When you heard that song, it was a big pop like that. Virtue, what do you think about that?
Dude, that was awesome. I can't stand, and we're talking about WCW 2000, I believe.
99, 2000.
I have a little bone to pick with Aaron Rift on No DQ because he likes to go back. Like he doesn't like something creatively today. He keeps saying, oh my gosh, it's a train wreck like WCW 2000. And I stopped him right there. And I said, do you realize, Aaron, you're talking about WCW 2000 and 2019? And he stopped and he said, you're right, I am. Vito was good stuff, man. And the Mamalukes was awesome. I just was going back. The this weekend actually watching some of those clips with the Mean Gene stuff. Money, gold, just like what was around your neck right now that's blinding me. Seriously, dude.
Gold. Saying the big digits, the 4-karat gold, chain. That's not even including the gold. You know what I mean? This could be my World Series ring, my Super Bowl ring. It's just the Vito ring, the big Vito brand ring.
Well, I'm going to spin this into something else. So the David Arquette thing, we all know what happened with him in 2000, and we know there was a movie out called Ready to Rumble. We knew Vince's, the whole WCW creative's intentions there. Let's get this in the USA Today. Let's get Hollywood to talk about this. Let's fast forward 19 years later. David Arquette is putting the work in the indie scene, and he's doing some, decent stuff these days. And it's just funny. That whole thing that happened back then with him as an actor, winning the WCW World title, I think makes his run now being a wrestler more intriguing. And again, we're talking something that happened in 2000, people still talking today. I think that meant it worked. It might not be at the level where people thought it was like great all-time stuff. Dude, if you're talking about anything that far into the future, there was something memorable about it. People, our critics would say, oh, that's because it was so horse crap that's why we're talking about it. No. If it was bad, Vito, you forget about it. You never bring it up again. So it was a good time. Good run, man. Good run in 2000.
What's bad? Would you rather watch WCW 2000 or would you rather watch today's product? I want to watch back then.
100% WCW 2000. Yep.
Look at the storylines. Look at the talent you had on that roster. That was up and down, probably one of the best rosters you could ever assemble in wrestling. And comparable to none, there will not be another roster like that where you have all that talent, name talent, all conglomerated into one strong unit. You know what? And if there wasn't any of the bullshit going back and forth, and when they just would have let Vince alone, and this is the truth, people, this comes from the horse's mouth. This comes right from a guy who lived it. If they would have just left him alone, WCW would still be open today, and everybody would still have jobs.
You ready for me to call out all the Benedict Arnolds? Those fans today that crap on that WCW 2000 product. What do they want today? They want young, fresh stars in the main event scene, new blood. What did Russo do in 2000? He was doing that before it was cool.
Yep. And you know what? And just talking about, we're talking about WCW, WWE, okay? Let's bring up AEW and the idea, and this has been thrown around. How about Big Vito, the manager of Enzo and Cass?
Dude, that's money. I mean, you don't have to convince me. You have to convince everybody listening to Getting Color. I'm all for that, man. I don't know if Cody, if Conrad, whoever works for AEW happens to listen to this. This is there needs to be no audition for Big Vito and Enzo. They have track records on television.
That is the new Italian group to be had.
Yep.
Can you imagine me coming out on the stage, then all of a sudden the music hits and here comes Enzo doing his shtick with Cass in the background, and all of a sudden you're walking down the aisle and we're going to fight the Young Bucks for the titles?
Yep.
The place would go nuts.
Yep. And even if you guys – dude, first of all, I think people would pop for you. But even if you guys had to play the heels because everybody loves the Young Bucks, dude, it would be dynamic. Easy peasy, dude. That's simple. You guys better be getting phone calls. That's all I got to say.
How about this? You got, the Bullet Club. How about them calling us the Italian Bullets?
I like it. Dude, I remember the Bullet Club concept. They were supposed to be like an NWO, like hated. And then all of a sudden, Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, they became like a pop boy band. And it's like, no, that's not what that group's supposed to be. I don't think there's a good distinction in wrestling today with villains and heroes like there used to be. And what do you think about that? Am I just not seeing it? I don't think there is a good distinguish between that today.
That's because they don't allow nobody to get enough steam on themselves to develop a character to be a heel. develop a character to be a babyface. Takes about 2 years to establish yourself as a good guy and a bad guy. With the way they interchange today, they don't give enough people to let themselves run. That's why they have the problem today with nobody getting over as themselves.
Dude, what do you think about this? Because we brought up that, Russo got praised by The Rock, which was awesome. All right. What do you Robbie E, and Vince likes him, right? You know who Robbie E is, right? He's in NXT now. And I had to do a double take when I saw this on Twitter. He's doing a manager gimmick, which great, because I said that Enzo would have been great at that. And it's called The Brand. Like, I'm sitting there like messaging Vince on Twitter, like, dude, you might need to copyright this. Well, what do you think about that? Literally, Robbie E is calling himself The Brand. What do you think about that? I don't know if that's going to last, if it's just a little creative, tease.
Probably the guys, Pritchard's in creative.
And this is at the NXT level, but still.
But Pritchard's in creative, and he wants to get back at Vince, and they all want to stick it to Vince Russo. So what better way to do it than have one of them characters called The Brand?
I think it's putting it over, though. I mean, good for Vince. I just don't want him to get in any trademark issues.
No, I don't think that. I'm waiting for somebody to come up with a gimmick that says the veto power with a VETO, and the guy who's doing a politician gimmick, and he always got the stamp of the veto, and then it's where it's going to go from there. We have a question.
Yeah, Laura asked, who was the one that was using bro all the time recently in Impact or NXT?
Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle, that's right.
All right. I hope everybody's enjoying this. Let's give a couple of plugs. Virtue.
Wait a minute, you have more questions.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Disco El Travolta wants to know, after we move, are you going to be doing like your men's hygiene grooming tips show that you've been promising everybody? You're special on the grooming tips?
Yes. Guys, we just have limited space and where we live. Guys, if you don't know, I'm going to give you the whole spiel, okay? We moved to Florida, okay? I uprooted our home, moved into a one-bedroom apartment. Started my stuff here, and we've been here for almost a year. It'll be a year this month I've been living here, okay? So things have been tight, but we've been, doing our thing, and everything's been good. We finally moved in. We're moving into a new house.
Thank you for the bits.
Bits for tits. There you go. We're moving into a new house, 2,200 square foot, okay? I just got to go ahead on I'm gonna finally make my outdoor bar, have a TV, have a grill, or patio furniture that Lanai's use.
You're getting a custom bar built.
Custom bar built by one of my buddies. Okay, the house is not even mine yet. I'm renting the home, but I'm gonna have everything I want in this house, plus the studio in the garage and in the office. So this way we can do both concepts. Plus, we're gonna be able to do Twitch and go around and do the whole facility. We got 14 pools in this place. We got 3 or 4 golf courses. We have lounges. We got everything. The golf, the resorts are just so.
We're converting the garage to a green screen studio, and then going to have a podcast studio in the office.
Right. So guys, just bear with us. We're going to have everything you need. It just took us a little time, but you know what? Between me, my wife, and I, we both look better since we've come here. We both feel better since we've come here. Everything has been going good. We have the new show here, Getting Color with Virtue. Everything's been going good with the Realm Network. We've come a long way from being nothing and building a brand. So just bear with us. We know we're trying to accommodate everybody. Thank you for your appreciation and sticking with us. But everything is a work in progress, and Rome wasn't built in a day. So,
and you are going back to Russo's brand. You're doing some more stuff for him.
Yeah, and you know what? He gave me a phone call. He said, bro, you need to come back to the brand. I said, listen, man, I'm busy with my own stuff, right? First you want me, then you don't want me. Bro, it's not the same, bro. It's not the same. The Realm Network, they need you. Can you come back? And he was crying with a tissue. I said, all right, wipe your little nose with your sleeve. Okay, all right, I'll come back, all right? So now the wish list is back in effect for all the people on the Realm Network. So on my Twitter is a wish list. Accommodate Big Vito so he can look good, feel good, Look at what you got here. Look at what you're looking at. You're not looking at Russo every day. You're looking at Big Vito, the BIGV. Come on.
That was a mouthful.
Dude, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued for that. That's good times. Dude, did we talk about this last week? We knew Angle was going to have his last match at WrestleMania, but I don't think we knew yet it was going to be Baron Corbin. Seriously, what do you have to say about that? Because
horrible.
We didn't know. We thought Cena at the time, right? Oh, what do you got to say about Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle?
I said this from the beginning, and Vince McMahon always gets back at guys who leave. Thank you for Bits for Tits.
Bits for Tits.
Vince McMahon gets back at guys, and this has been going on for over 25, 30 years. Guys who leave and come back, he will welcome you back, but you have to pay for not being loyal. He brought Kurt Angle back, made him the commissioner, made him made him the commissioner, gave him the Hall of Fame, let him come back to wrestle some of the stuff, slowly but surely, job. Then for his finale for Kurt Angle, when it's supposed to be the big match like Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, what does he give him? Baron Corbin. The people shit all over it. It's garbage. It's crap. Kurt Angle, he might not be Kurt Angle of 10 years ago, but he definitely deserves better than Baron Corbin. And I know that they're going to change that match because of the backlash they've gotten. The people who have written, go ahead and give it to me.
Dude, and they're giving him AJ Styles on SmackDown this week. AJ's working Orton at Mania. But, all of a sudden now, this happens, and the backlash happens, right? The fans don't want to see Angle versus Corbin. They're giving away Angle versus AJ Styles on SmackDown. Something's got to give with this. I don't think they can go through. And the only way they could go through with Angle and Corbin is if Angle kicks his ass in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? And even then, people would be like, really? That's what you're going to do?
They're going to give everybody AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, okay?
On SmackDown.
What does it do for AJ Styles, and what does it do for Kurt Angle?
Nothing on SmackDown because they're not even, you know what I mean? It feels like they're throwing it together to make the fans that are mad about Corbin happy. It's what they do, Vito.
Not unless Cena shows up on SmackDown because he's a SmackDown boy.
And again, we are a couple weeks out from Mania. There is no Cena and no Undertaker for this. Remember last year they dingled that around? We didn't know. Cena kept calling out the Undertaker, and you literally didn't know what was going to happen until Mania Day. Here we are again a year later, and Cena and Undertaker really aren't built into this card at all. Now, we talked about the Undertaker thing because he's doing StarCast. Do you think Vince really has reached a point with these two guys where he's like, nope, they don't make me money anymore? Why are we at this point with Taker and Cena?
Because I don't think there's real competition for Taker as big as he is and for the size of the rest of the guys. And, like I said, Taker's entrance is worth the price of admission. Cena really hasn't been on the scene and relevant in WWE. Not that he's not relevant. It's just that he hasn't been relevant in any programs because he's been doing his own thing. So I just think that the programs to work logically are not there unless all of a sudden Sting came out of retirement and said, I'm going to face Taker at WrestleMania. That would blow every match out of the water because everybody just wants to watch them both do their entrances. The match could be 5 minutes. That's all they need. And then that would be the main event.
Sting just said that. Sting said he wants to do a match with Undertaker. Now, I think it's too late now for this season. Do you think that's something that could build into next year for maybe both of their swan songs?
Isn't Sting going to be 61 years old?
I'm not exact. I think he's still in his 50s. I don't know his exact age, but he literally, I think he publicly stated this, that's what he wants to do. Because remember, he had his neck messed up from the Rollins match. And I don't know, man. It's crazy.
He'll be safe with Taker. Taker will protect him. And is that the safest match for him? Yeah. We don't have The Rock making an appearance. Did I see that Hogan is going to make an appearance at WrestleMania?
I'm 90% sure he is, yeah.
Okay, so they bring him back Hogan. That's one guy who's not there. Then you have, what else do you have going on? No other big-time stars are outside coming in.
Well,
Blowfish says, I don't want Sting to wrestle again, worried about his neck and if it's worth it, which is what I told you. Is it actually worth it? Vince said the same thing.
Is it worth it? Maybe it's just for somebody who's got it inside them that they want one more match and they didn't go out the way they wanted to. Probably. You know,
tell Blowfish to watch The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. I think that tells the story pretty well on why wrestlers do it until they can't anymore.
Napper, I'm going to tell you, it's not that. I just think, like, if you don't go out on your own terms, like Batista, does he really need to come back and do a wrestling match at the end? At this point, he's a millionaire, making movies.
No.
He did when he was wrestling. So does he really need to come back and do this now?
Nope.
I'm trying to.
But that brings me up my point is that why he's doing it? He ain't doing it for a payday. Does he have still that wrestling itch and passion where he wants to do it again? Like, I don't know. You know that, Vito. I mean, do you have that itch or passion? You want to start doing it again?
Sting is 60.
Sting is 60.
He just turned 60.
That's right. He's going to be 61 next year. So
March 20th, he turned 60. So he just turned 60.
He just turned 60. So you're going to wait another year. You're going to have to let it happen now. You're going to let it happen now. That means the guy's on his way to 70. Come on. You only have.
Dude, so here's what I think is going to happen with any one of those stars you talked about. Elias is going to do his singing gimmick at WrestleMania. He already said he's giving the biggest rock concert ever at WrestleMania. Now, you and I would think perfect spot for The Rock to come out and interrupt Elias, but he's a busy man. Filming Jumanji, who knows? Do you think that could be Cena's interruption? Could that be Undertaker's spot? Do you think Elias will get a good rub? Or do you think they'll just do something like, nah? You know what I mean? What do you think?
I can't see Cena coming in there because it's not a Cena thing. I can't see The Undertaker coming out because that's just that. If they both of those guys come out and they beat him, they just wasted Elias. I could see a sing-off against The Rock because that's more comedy and you're not having a match. You're having an impromptu rock concert. Who else could there be that can come out and challenge Elias? You don't want Jeff Jarrett. You don't want Double J. You don't want Road Dogg. Who else?
We haven't seen Bray Wyatt, but that wouldn't make sense. You know what I mean? They would just do it to do it. I'd want it to make sense.
The only logical guy to come out for a sing-off would be The Rock. And he did that.
You don't think Cena would do it and then do the rap thing to Elias's acoustic singing? You know what I mean? They do weird shit like that.
I just don't think it would mix, and I think it would bury Elias, and I think it wouldn't do any justification for that guy. Not what, because you realize Elias has gotten beaten by every major guy, and then when he had that match with Roman Reigns, and he looked good, and he gave Roman Reigns a beating, and then what happened the next week? He jobbed him out quick, and I was like, okay, you just ruined him. Now he's got to start all over again. But what do? You know what I mean?
You know, you bring up Roman Reigns, and I immediately think of Brock Lesnar. You think Cormier is going to come into WWE at all for any type of appearance? I don't know if I've heard. I think I heard that rumor out there on the interweb. Do you think that's something that could happen?
It possibly could if Lesnar is already set in a contract with UFC for him to go fight Cormier if there's a contract there. For Cormier to come out and say it, he probably put it out there, hey, come out and do that. If it does happen, that's a way for Brock to get the title off him clean. That sets up for them to go to UFC. You know that they're going to do a cross promotion. You know it's going to draw money. It's going to make them both money. And the hype going into that fight is going to be worth the price of admission where both guys are going to make money. The UFC is going to make money. The WWE is going to make money off it. Could it happen? Yes. Whereas right now, Brock, I think, is cleared from all the steroid scandal. So for him to go, and he's been testing, I think right now is a perfect time for them to do it.
Dude, do you know that WWE's actual Twitter account is put out there? To the fans? What do you think should main event WrestleMania? I could not believe that they're literally asking that. Do you think? Remember the rumor for the last several months was the women are finally going to get their spot. Ronda Rousey's involved. Okay, I get it. It makes sense. Do you think Vince is having cold feet and he's literally?
Hold on. Interrupt. Hold on.
Yeah.
500 bits. Thank you. You know, and you know what? That is a slap in the face to you, Virtue, giving us 10 bits. This is a 500 spot.
That's lovely, Laura.
Lovely, Laura. 500 bits. Good luck in fantasy baseball.
I just spread mine out over time.
Oh, no.
I'm a slow roller. You should see me play poker. I'm tight, and then when you least expect it, I bite you like a cobra.
No, that's okay. That's why your beard is growing long, because you got nothing going on. Go ahead. We got something else.
You know what my poker nickname is? The Rabbi. I am not Jewish. The way I play, it's so tight. They call me the Rabbi, but I always bite people in the ass. All right.
Hi, Rabbi Zay.
They call you Rabbi because of the beard.
No, this was before I had it. This was before I had it.
I think, I'm sorry, Blowfish says, I think, Eric Kent, 100 bits. Thank you, sir, for 100 bits.
100 bits. There you go, 100 bits.
A Blowfish thinks women should close the show because they get most attention. Durban cheers 1 bit at a time on Vince's Twitch. That's like trolling.
That's funny. But back to the closer on Mania, I think that Vince McMahon might be having cold feet about the women going on last. That's just my opinion. We'll have to see.
All right, but what would you put? Or what would you put Triple H and Batista last?
No.
Everything. I think that has to be
Rollins and Lesnar. That if it's not the women, in my opinion, it's Rollins and Lesnar. The fans, today's fans would pop if Rollins beat Lesnar. So I don't think that the match wouldn't get crapped on necessarily. But to me, it's either the women's triple threat or the Universal title match. I can't see it being anything else. But I think Vince really weights and measures right now, does not know, and management does not know. I think
the women's title match.
What's that?
Do we see a change coming to the women's title match? Do we see somebody getting taken out?
Not at this point. But I know a lot of fans wanted Ronda and Becky one-on-one. But we talked about this. I think Charlotte was already the plan to face Ronda, and then Becky got hot. I think at this point, unless one of the girls gets hurt beforehand, which, that's a whole nother topic, Vito, protecting your big stars heading into WrestleMania, not having them work as hard in its big matches. Isn't that nuts?
Laura says she doesn't think anybody cares about women's wrestling. She's a former women's wrestler, and she says she could say that about the haters. Yeah, back in the day, really, people didn't care, but I think it's kind of a different tone today.
I think it's a different tone, a different era. But I tell you what, though, if they put on another women's pay-per-view, it'll draw. And you know what? Women having a match at WrestleMania is big. Not only one, but maybe two, because they're going to have the tag title match. That's another match going there. Go ahead, we got another question.
Says, on the other hand, WrestleMania will be so long, the crowd will be dead by the name.
That's exactly it. Do you realize that they threw everybody on the roster in WrestleMania? And that is terrible, because it doesn't give no significance to the matches. It mashes everybody together. Everybody's going to be rushing to do spots. They're going to have so much time, and it's not going to look good. Instead of being mano a mano and having major angles and having, and plus they're having a battle royal on top of it. How much can you stuff in a WrestleMania?
Dude, you're sending me there. I'm going to be there for the whole thing, all of it. NXT, Mania, which is going to feel like a week just being there at MetLife. And Raw and SmackDown. Are you insane, Vito? Sending me out there like a guinea pig for the whole week?
You got a good ticket. I paid for your flight. You're going in there. Have a good time. We're going to have it on Twitch when Virtue's at NXT. We're going to have it on Twitch when Virtue is at WrestleMania. So, guys, we're going to have the inside scoop. I might even get him in the locker room. So stay tuned.
Man, I'm already tired thinking about it.
WrestleMania.
But you begged me to go. You said, Vito, please, I want to go to rest my dream. Okay, I made your dream come true. You didn't ask for women. You didn't ask for Malibus. You asked to go to WrestleMania.
All right. I appreciate it. All right, I appreciate it.
Did I send Aaron Riff? No.
No.
Did I send Anybody else? No. I said friggin' Virtue.
Yep. We'll be going.
So getting back to now that we're talking about the women and their titles, how is the woman who has fallen off the map a little bit, and I think is stuck in that zone, and I think is Nia Jax because she was going strong. They had her with the knockout punch. They married her to Maya, and I just don't think they're relevant right now. I think the Bella twins have fallen off, and they're not really doing much with them either.
Brie tried to come back, and her ring timing was she botched like crazy, and she just faded away again.
But that's because if you don't practice, you can't just go from zero to in the ring on prime time. We have a question.
I actually have a question.
Go ahead.
So today, Rob Gronkowski announced that he was retiring from the Patriots.
Right.
Yeah.
And the question is, will he be part of WrestleMania? He has been in the past. Will he sign with WWE and be part of Mania?
It's a 50-50. Guy just retired. He's a Super Bowl champion. They could put him with that kid, Mojo Riley, who can't find himself.
In the mirror?
Wouldn't that be funny if Gronk's reflection came in the mirror on one of those promos?
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty creative for sure. But you know what, guys? Can Gronkowski probably go just like Conor McGregor and all the other people who think they want to do it, just like the guy from the Knicks, Enes Kanter, who says, "Oh yeah, after my debut, I'm going to be going on to pro wrestling." Everybody thinks they can go to pro wrestling. It's not as easy as you think.
Yeah. Here's my take on Gronk. He's going to pull a Witten. He's taking a year off. He's getting healed. He's getting healthy, and he'll come back for a 1 or 2 year run after that. Maybe not, but I'm going to be bold, and that's what I'm going to say. He's retiring this year, and he'll just like Witten. After the 1 year off, he'll come back. That's I'm calling it out.
Now that we're talking football, okay? Who will Tom Brady throw to? Who's going to be the money ball player for him? Because Gronkowski was his money man.
Edelman, the slot receiver, the possession receiver, Julian Edelman, bro.
Edelman, yes, I give you that. But
110 receptions this year.
But he needs other slot. He needs other receivers.
It's weird because Belichick will pull these no-name guys out of nowhere. I mean, they got this Hogan, they got this Dorsett. I mean, someone will emerge. I mean, that's part of Belichick's genius. Yes, Belichick has never truly won without Brady, or vice versa. But what has been consistent with the Patriots, and I'm not a Patriots fan, is Belichick does get everybody around them still to do their part. So it's going to be one of those stories, Vito. Let's see what the master does.
Now, we've covered The Rock, we covered Russo, we covered the football, we covered Angle, we've covered baseball, we covered basketball. What did we have on the list that we did not cover today?
Well, let me go to my text message to you, and I think we covered it all. Alberto Del Rio apologizes publicly to Triple H. Now, all the dirt sheets who know everything, no, WWE is not interested in Del Rio. I don't believe any of that. Like, you can never say never in wrestling, right? Seriously, you can't, because Jeff Jarrett's back in WWE now. What do you think about this whole Del Rio thing?
All right. Since Del Rio and Paige have split, Del Rio's star has fallen, and he's not that hot commodity no more. And he fell off the face of the earth, and he just disappeared. Him, apologizing to Triple H, laying the groundwork for a possible return. Alberto Del Rio to go back to the grind of something that you hated and you told everybody to F off. And I really don't think much of it. He'll be a B player. He's not going to be the A player he was. If they take him back, I'm saying it today. They take him back. They're going to take him back. Yeah, brother, everything is good. Amigo, que pasa, blah, blah, blah. And they are going to job the shit out of him. And what is he going to say then?
What about a stint in AEW? Now, the problem with Del Rio, he's had a history over the last couple of years of no-showing different events. So he's got that negativity around him anywhere he would go. Is AEW a possibility for him?
I never saw him mix with any of those guys, so the answer is no.
They're working with AAA though a little bit now. I know, but he pissed some people off down there too. So you might be right.
I don't see. If you didn't see it by now, and he hasn't wound up in Japan, or he hasn't fought for All Japan or any of that stuff, I don't think anybody wants to deal with him. You know, and not that he's not a nice guy, but I mean, he said he was training for MMA. He did that. Hey, I know that Bellator was on this week. The Jack Swagger fight.
Oh, it was this weekend? Did he win? I didn't even know about it.
I'm asking you if Bellator was on. I think it was on Friday. Bits for tits. Thank you very much.
Someone in the chat will have to look that up.
Man, she is blowing you up, Laura. I'm telling you, girls.
But the lovely Laura says, and
yes,
this is a gimmick on the Russo Twitch, can we discuss how cute Jeff Lane is?
So basically, Laura's asking you to cut a promo on Jeff Lane. Is that what I get out of that, Noel?
Wants to discuss his cuteness. Vito loves Jeff Lane, though.
Jeff Lane.
I like Jeff too.
Laura.
He loves Jeff Lane.
Laura, Jeff Lane, as long as I know him, has been a very good friend, somebody great to talk to, somebody who's helped me, and and the wife, and in the broadcast business and everything. And aside from the business itself, being a friend in general and calling him up and saying, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Shooting ideas and talking. Very cool dude. If you have any eyes for Jeff Lane, I am sure that it would be reciprocated.
That's her pretend crush.
Pretend crush? Well, you picked a good guy.
Pretend crushes are wonderful. Who's your pretend crush, Vito? ...
I have some pretend crushes.
Put it out there then. Let's get it going.
I'm not going to say mine because Noelle will get mad at me because she knows exactly who I'm talking about. Actress.
I know who it is, you punk. I
didn't drop a name. I didn't drop a name.
You don't even have to because I already know.
You know what? I'm going to watch My Cousin Vinny after we get off here.
Yeah. Exactly who I knew it was.
Yeah, I want to watch My Cousin Vinny tonight.
That's
Hold on, I'll say it like this. You are in trouble. You are in trouble.
Oh, you're done.
Dude, we covered all the topics I wanted to. Anything else you wanted to?
Hold on a second.
Laura says Virtue's pretend crush is Vito?
No. But thank you for amusing me, Laura. I appreciate that. You did get me to smile.
It's so good.
That is funny.
How about
romance, baby?
How about reality TV? Christina L. Musa. Go ahead, Laura.
No, this is Blowfish says Russo has a crush on his albums.
Albums.
You're right.
He so does.
Bro, give me the albums, bro. How to carry all these boxes, bro.
He says it like this: albums. Remember, he was. I got to move all my albums, and they're in boxes, bro.
It's Russo scandals. Unbelievable.
I'll go with your Christina El Musa because you're in love. That's your actual crush.
Well, hold on a second. When Flipper Flop was on with Christina El Musa, I'm telling you, she was one of the hottest things on TV, looking good, doing the thing until the husband, double dipped with the babysitter, and then things went strange, and then there was a gun incident. Then she was, banging the friggin' construction worker. And then, they broke up. They were getting together. Then they broke up. He was psycho. She was nuts. She was being a hoe. And now she's happily married and having another baby. So she's off my radar. Okay?
You got so upset on Friday.
I was like, that bitch. She didn't know.
I do have another crush, Cyndi Lauper. I know she's older now. But, man, I'll tell you what, man. When growing up as a kid in the 80s, I liked her better than Madonna. I mean, is that weird?
No, Cyndi Lauper was my hero as a kid.
I still like her, man. Love her.
She's awesome. Big. Yep. Who is going to be your new crush? Like your HD Flipper Flop crashed. Like you flopped on your crush. Now you got to pick out a new crush. Like who are you going to crush on now?
Oh, no.
Who's the guy that fluffs the pillows on Flipper Flop? What's his name?
Kevin Hattain.
He's obsessed with this show.
Every time that freaking guy comes on, it's Kevin Hattain.
I've never seen anybody so obsessed with HGTV in my life. Make the face you make when you realize House Hunters is international instead of regular. Do the face. And then you get the tongue thing.
Change the channel.
Change the channel.
Gordon Ramsay shows, please. Gordon Ramsay shows.
Yeah, then we switch to Gordon. Disco says his crush is Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Nah, but hey, Noel, who's your crush?
I cannot say.
Why not?
Because I won't say it.
Don't be a hater. Go ahead. Bring it to the table.
Can't, baby.
Hey, you guys want to know that? You guys want to know?
Not Fabio, is it?
Is it him? Oh, thank you. 500 bits again. Please don't tell Vince he gets all butthurt when I use my cheers for other people.
This is payback for the fantasy, what he did to me in fantasy.
Oh, it totally is, because he totally screwed you over. Vito, you're my crush, honey.
No, babe, it's all right. If you can tell people it's Enzo, I really don't care.
That's not who I was going to say it was.
Oh, Noel, I said Fabio, but no.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. He's no.
Who's your crush?
Sorry. Sorry, baby. I can't tell you.
Who was your crush again at Virtue? What was her name?
Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper was my secondary crush. My first crush, just go watch My Cousin Vinny, and you will see her.
Laura says Enzo is a cutie. He is adorable.
My wife was digging Enzo during the whole spiel. I had to be quiet during the spiel and everything else. So I was like, okay, that's cool. When I met Enzo, I even told him legit, I said, my wife loves you. Nah, bro, yeah. I said, no, it's okay. No, really, seriously. Everything's cool.
He used to make my wings at Hooters in Jersey.
That's good. Virtue, this was a damn good session of getting color.
Dude, it's getting better and better every week, man. Comfort zones.
Now, do you guys talk about this? You still doing Aaron Riff show? Yeah,
we do. We record it, I think, pretty much every Wednesday night. So we still do the review, yeah.
You still do the review. Is there any mention of Getting Color? Any rivalry going on with Aaron Riff? Anything we could bring up for the dirt?
No, but he likes it because I post it on Mondays as a column, and I embed it in my column on No DQ. So then my peeps go to his site to watch the video that goes back to your site. So it's like a network. So yeah, it's all good. It's all praise.
The rivalry.
I do think though he thinks we're getting more steam than the review though. I think he thinks I care about Getting Color a little bit more than the review.
I think that it's a great networking that we all work together and we're like a
We
wall.
should all push everybody's show. So I'm going to push Aaron Riff's show. Everybody go over to see Aaron Riff and Virtue on the show. And hopefully everybody comes to my site and watch the show. Aaron has been doing this for a few years now, I think 3 or 4. He has a good following. He's been doing it for 10 years.
Oh, since 98, since 20 years.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My mistake because I'm not up there. He's been doing this since 98. He's got a good rapport with the fans. He's got a good site. He's doing a great job making a living doing this stuff, so it's good for him. We have a question?
Laura wanted to say that she's so glad that we're coming back to the brand. She loves how supportive we are with Vince and everybody, and it's tremendous to see longtime friends that have always had each other's back, which is true. You guys have always had each other's back. And
always.
We all work together.
And if you see that one picture, when we do our wrestling on new show, tell me about the new show that's coming up.
This week in wrestling history, Vito LaGrasso.
This week in wrestling history with Vito LaGrasso will be appearing on the Realm Network come next week. And you're going to see one of the pictures there where I'm standing behind Russo and Bischoff, and I'm right behind Bischoff. And I'm waiting for Bischoff to say something so I can crack his head open.
True story.
True
so
story.
That's what's so funny.
Didn't trust nobody.
That was so funny.
Didn't trust nobody. I was Vince's hired gun. Always lurking behind a crack, always looking to see who's yelling at him. I'm saying, God, I don't want to fight. Jesus, this is going to be bad. Vince, just calm down a little bit. But nothing beats the Hogan night. That is come on.
And we're going to talk about that on an upcoming. But what do you want to reveal what your topic is going to be for the first week in April, this week in wrestling history?
This week in April, we're going to talk about President Trump being at WrestleMania.
Vito was in that WrestleMania.
I was in that WrestleMania, and I was in the dressing room, and I was there. So that should be a good story. And I know everybody would like to know what.
Are you talking about the one in Detroit?
Yes.
Yeah. That one.
Nice.
So that'll be good. And then we're going to take it from there. Virtue, what do you got to plug for yourself?
Well, follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue. And as you know, I do stuff for the BigVitoBrand.com, for NoDQ.com, for Andre Corbeil's site, WrestlingWithWrestling.com. There you go, Andre. I finally plugged you. I was on castrating the marks with Vince Russo and had a blast, even though he sabotaged my fantasy league. But other than that, what a network. I love working for all of these channels. UXWA Indie Group here in Cleveland. You know, we're bringing Vito later this year. It's going to be awesome. That's all my plugs for now. And if I forgot any, I'll mention them next time.
All right. And then, Noelle, if you could do the plugs for us, that would be great.
Yes, I can. Vito, if you guys want to subscribe to us, there is a little button that you can press. I believe it is red. If you press the subscribe button, you'll be able to subscribe to the Big Vito Brand, help support us. Patreon is the place to be. Patreon, the Big Vito Brand. That helps support our brand and keep us going. We got new shows coming to the brand. We're going to continue with the notification with Vito once we move to the new house. That I have people volunteering to come on and teach you nerd stuff. It's amazing. I've had so many people say, I want to teach Vito this, I want to teach Vito that. You're going to start streaming old school Nintendo games.
Oh, God. Bits for
Thank you for the bits. Virtue. One at a time.
I just wanted to hear it go ding, 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 ding.
It says Virtue. Thank you for the bits. I lost my train of thought. Speaking Italian, or Big Vito speaks Italian to you. We'll have some cooking features coming up with the big new kitchen. We're going to cook some. What are you going to cook? What's your first thing you're going to cook?
I don't even know. I just think that right now I'm concentrating on the bar. And I'm going to be bartender at my own house. Not that I was never a bartender, but I'm actually going to have a real bar.
Here's my question.
Go ahead.
Are you going to have a show from behind the bar? Is your sports show going to come from behind your sports bar?
Well, if you guys want to see a sports show from behind the bar at Big Vito's Bar Emporium, send it in.
We always called it the La Grasso Tiki Bar.
The La Grasso Tiki Bar. All right, Virtue, that's another great session of Getting Color. Thank you very much for co-hosting. You had a lot of great points to bring up. Please, everybody, go see Virtue and all his affiliates. Check him out. He's a good dude. He helps out here. He's the co-host with the most on Getting Color. He's part of the brand. I'm trying to bring him in slow. We're trying to get through this fantasy baseball thing. All right, everybody, peace out. We'll see you next week. Reese's Pieces, dog.